Welcome to the Mind Myself podcast. I'm Esther, and it is my pleasure to be bringing you information about healthcare approaches, health issues, and people's health journey stories, all from the complementary, holistic, and integrative perspectives, helping you become your own best health advocate and helping you make your own informed choices because you matter.
Welcome to Mind Myself, Conversations with E. I'm Esther, founder and CEO of Mind Myself, and it is my great pleasure to welcome to our podcast today, Zora Pescio. Welcome, Zora.
Well, thank you very much, Esther. I really appreciate being invited onto your program, and just in so much gratitude. So thank you very, very much.
You're so welcome. And tell us a little bit about your credentials, your background, and why you love doing what you do.
Okay. I started off in medicine in high school. I was a candy striper. Why did I do that? Because they would help pay for my nursing education. And I just have kept going from there. I have a master's degree as a women's healthcare nurse practitioner, and I've been doing women's health for 32 years. And I absolutely love it. It's my passion. And I like teaching. I like educating. Hormones are one of my biggest passions, but I also like looking at the whole body. I'm a functional medicine practitioner, and that means the head is connected to the toes. And so it's like, how does everything tie in with everything else, and just connecting all of that and getting people really healthy, not just one part of their body, but let's get everything feeling better.
I love it. And that's what we're all about at Mind Myself too. The whole picture, holistic, complementary, integrative health. So today we're talking about hormone replacement therapy or bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Let's jump in with some definitions. What is HRT? What is BHRT? What are the differences from your perspective?
Okay, so I'd say HRT is hormone replacement therapy.
Yes.
BHRT is bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Bioidentical means that it matches exactly what your body produces on its own. Okay. HRT is probably more synthetic. So you've heard a lot of the synthetics, Premarin, Provera, that's HRT. When you do a natural hormone, that's bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, such as estrone, estriol, estradiol, all of those kinds of things. So it's how you do that, how do you put them together, and what works best for each individual person. And so measuring the levels, like I have a lab that I use a lot, and when I get the results back, it's like, this is here, this is here, this is here. Okay, so then you need this much of this much of that. So then I'm able to customize exactly for you what you want. I find that with the bioidentical hormones, I can add things together. Like I often use a lot of estrone or estradiol, progesterone, testosterone, DHEA. I put all of those together in one. So I can do a sublingual troche, I can do capsules, there's many, many ways to make it easy so it doesn't have to be hard. I also use a lot of topical, and I'm going to be learning and getting really educated in using bioidentical pellets, and pellets are inserted into the tush. And you can do testosterone and estrogen. The molecules of the progesterone are too big to be absorbed that way. So usually we do an oral compounded one and or topical. Compounded means they make it up identical to what your body has used. And yeah, so those are I have very few clients that are on regular non-customized hormone replacement therapy. Some people say, yes, I want it, and it's like, okay, and then they have side effects. And so why would I put someone on hormone replacement therapy? Hot flashes, night sweats, mood swings, irritability, bone and joint pain, memory loss, vaginal dryness, insomnia, fatigue, depression, decreased libido, brain fog, on and on and on. And so what that shows is your life doesn't have to be miserable. And again, you hear bad things about hormone replacement. The bioidentical, and I use teeny tiny amounts, I don't use large amounts. Side effects are slim to none, and you're like, wow, I feel so much better now. So it gives you a new sense of life and a sense of energy. And it's like, wow, am I glad I did this?
Wow. And so typically, who are the people who require hormones?
The people that are having all the side effects and the ones that come in and say, I don't feel good.
Right.
I don't feel good at all. I'm hot. I'm cranky. I don't sleep. I'm not a nice person. I really am, but I'm just not nice. I don't feel well. So it's like, okay, so let's do some testing. Let's look at a bunch of different things, thyroid and all of that also. But 99% of the time, if you're in that menopausal range, and that can be anywhere, I've got women at 35 going, why am I on menopause now? And I have women at 55 going, can you please make this stop? So everybody's a little bit different.
Right.
A lot of it's familial, but so it's like, let's see where you are in the process.
Got it. And if somebody is starting to take these hormones, is it a forever thing? How long do we take them? What is it? What's the range of length of time?
From what my experience is, I would say yes, now until forever. The biggest thing is for bone and joints and osteoporosis. And when you take hormones, it strengthens those bones a little bit versus not taking them. And you tend to get a little more osteopenia or osteoporosis. And it's after you read a lot of stuff about the heart. It's really heart protective after the first year that you take them. But again, very seldom are there heart issues with hormones that are natural. Okay. And so I would say now until forever. That's my recommendation.
Right. And what about
if you just don't feel good, don't and stop them, that's great. But then you'll notice that things start to decline. Well, I'm tired. Oh, my bone and joints really ache. I just don't feel as good as I did. And I would say most of the people that stop, they say, can I start again?
Right. And so that's always an option. If someone says, okay, I want to take a break, or I'm not sure about this, you're saying now until forever, but it's a choice. And
Right.
if you decide to go off it for a bit, maybe give your body a break and see if it's kind of adjusted itself. And if not, it's always there for you. That's what I'm hearing you say, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Awesome. And a price point. Now, some people, this may be covered by their medical plan, and some people it might not. Is it really expensive?
And I would say in the US now, more than likely not. Okay. The regular hormones could be paid for, but the bioidenticals, which are just a little bit healthier, in my opinion, are generally not. I go to a compounding pharmacy. There are several of them in the area. They try to do the best they can with price for you.
Got it. And what does that mean, compounding pharmacy? Can I just go to any old pharmacy, or are they specific pharmacies, and what makes them different?
It has to be a compounding pharmacy, and a compounding pharmacy can be combined with a regular pharmacy, or it's just compounding. They also do this for animals. So if you have a bunch of medications, they can put them together and put them into one chewy pill for your cat or your dog. Okay. And so with hormones, they have the ingredients and they make the combination. So they have progesterone powder and they put it together, and then you have topical progesterone, you have sublingual that goes under your tongue, you have all kinds of stuff. So it has to be made and compounded at a particular pharmacy. Like just a plain regular pharmacy is not a compounding pharmacy, and they can't do that because you have to have special equipment and yeah.
Great. And so I'm assuming that a regular pharmacy that doesn't do that, they'll just tell you, no, we don't do compounding. You'll have to go to, and they'll either have recommendations, or you can go look some up in your area. Right.
And you can also mail order them. Like if I have a prescription in Washington State, often they can't prescribe because they don't to other states. They can prescribe in Washington, but there are several, like Women's International Pharmacy. You call them, the prescription is sent in, and then they can send it to you at your home.
Well, that's nice and convenient if someone needs that. So that's a really good tip. Maybe we could talk a little bit about estrogen and testosterone and progesterone. I know that some people say, oh, you just need to take estrogen. Can you expand a little bit about those three hormones in particular and how that works when we're looking for hormones?
We were given both hormones for a reason, estrogen and progesterone. Well, we're given more than two, but the main two here, estrogen and progesterone. And people say, oh, you've had a hysterectomy, you don't need progesterone. I disagree. I think that you were given both hormones for a reason, and progesterone is the one to just kind of calm everything down, help you sleep. You just feel a little bit better with the progesterone. The estrogen, again, is mostly for the hot flashes, night sweats, mood swings, all of those symptoms that are like, boy, this is really annoying. But if you put the two together, it's a nice combination. And usually you always take progesterone at night because it just helps you just relax and sleep. I usually always give estrogen and progesterone together. Very, very seldom do I not. The other question is, what about hormones and breast cancer? It depends on the person. Most oncologists will say no. Other women will say, as much as I've been through, I don't want the rest of my life to be miserable. And they do fabulous. And they know all the side effects. They know the possibilities. They know what to look for. And they're really hyper aware of their body. And they're like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. And I feel like I'm living. And I can do this and this and this again. Other people are like, nope, not doing it. It's like, okay, everybody gets to choose. That's what's really nice.
Right.
Testosterone is a hormone. It's an androgen, so it's one of the more male hormones that's more known. That's for libido. Some people have too much androgen in their body, the facial hair, that kind of stuff. But the androgen is also helpful. Probably one of the biggest things is for libido and sex drive. And what does that look like? What does that feel like? And everybody's a little bit different. And like we'll probably talk about at some point, it's different with different partners.
Right. Well, speaking of partners, then let's talk a little bit in terms of hormones and painful sex. And that we can have a whole topic on that, and we will, but let's just allude to it here in the context of hormone therapy.
Okay. So one of the biggest side effects you can also hear with menopause is vaginal dryness and just pain. And the tissues tend to thin out and they get to like 1 or 2 layers. And so if you add a little bit of estrogen to the vagina, it can thicken those tissues up a little bit. Again, with a lot of rough intercourse or with whatever, you can really do a lot of damage. So I'd say a really good lubricant, and it would be a water-based lubricant. I wouldn't do anything like Vaseline. Vaseline's really tough because it can do some damage, like because it's petroleum jelly. Olive oil works sometimes. Coconut oil is fabulous. If you just want to do some home things, we do have some estriol. We have lots of different topical compounded creams that we can use. So there's many, many options. I find that when people, sometimes they just use vaginal hormones, the estrogen for thickening those tissues and intercourse is much improved. Sometimes we need to be a little more creative and add a few more things to that just for see what the combination, what works best. But it's you're not crazy. It does hurt because the tissues are so thin. And so if we can thicken those tissues up, the other thing I would say is DHEA. And DHEA works for many things, but I also use it vaginally quite a bit. And that increases lubrication and it increases the thickening of the lining of the cervix and the vagina, not the cervix, the vagina. And therefore that alone too can make intercourse more comfortable because there's more lubrication, like I said, and the tissues get a little bit thicker. If you use DHEA and estrogen together, kind of magic.
Wow. And so we're talking about vaginal dryness, but I'm assuming that applies to the area, the labia and areas around all the female genitalia, that the tissues are thin. It's not just the vagina itself, but it's the exterior. So whatever treatment you're considering, any of the things that you've just talked about, Zora, that will apply to all of those areas.
Yes. But generally the vulva isn't as sensitive in most people. Again, yes, you do have those where that's the only place it really hurts is that. And then when you go in with intercourse, that's what is really painful versus vaginally, it's not. So everybody is a little bit different. So that's why we need to get a really good history and customize. And there's other things that we can do. Like I talked about PRP before, and we can do some injections in the vulvar area. It's like, oh, hello, we numb you up really good. No need to worry. And then that thickens those tissues and it decreases just the pain response
Mhm.
is significant. And so that's one of the big things for decreasing painful intercourse.
Totally. And I'm assuming that that's all the things that you've been talking about in this episode is even though there's some information here, it's really important to see a practitioner, a medical practitioner who can help you determine the specific things that you need.
Oh, I have so many people self-diagnosed. It's not, well, this is happening. Can you do this? No, I need to take a look. Well, why? Well, because I need to see, often you have a yeast infection. Often there's a bacterial infection. You don't know that. And again, when I look, it's like, I have yeast. It's like, no, that's not yeast. It's like, this is a low hormone issue. Oh, well, I'm itching all the time. Yes. And so we need to treat this and treat. So you just need to get a look. And it's like, yes, it's nice to kind of guess and say, what do you think? And then have confirmation of that, but make sure you're being treated with the correct product.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for this great information. What is something that you would like to leave your listener with today, Zora?
Oh gosh, self-care, and just be aware of your body and what your body's telling you. Listen. And, if you've got a itchy vagina, or, if you're just, I can't stand it, come in and see somebody, because there are things that it could be that you don't want to be. I mean, you can have vulvar cancers, you can have those kinds of things. So when I just take a look, then it's confirmation between you and I that we're not dealing with anything really serious. But if I see something that I don't like, then we're able to biopsy that and say, boy, am I glad you got in here. And that's rare, but again, it does happen. So just really good self-care, relaxation, nice Epsom salt baths. Just love your body and love who you are.
Oh, I feel that right now. Thank you so much for being with us today, Zora.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you too, Esther. Appreciate it.
Excellent. And for those of you watching, check out Zora's profile on the Mind Myself website. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for being with us at the Mind Myself podcast today. We know that time is precious and you've spent some of your valuable time with us. We're grateful. If you would like to reach out to our guests directly, the information is below. And if you would like more from Mind Myself, that information is also below. Please visit our website and check out all the information about the different complementary, holistic, and integrative healthcare approaches, information about health issues, more podcasts, tons of blogs, and we even have a community page for you where you could reach out and tell your story safely, or you could ask questions and perhaps somebody else in the world is going through something similar to you. In any case, we're so glad you're with us, and we're doing this because you matter.